Bonjour to all the urbanists out there. I want to give you a very big pro tip of how to eat on a budget here in beautiful France. Right now I'm in the Cote d'Azur, the beautiful blue coast, the French Riviera in the south of France, in the city called Menton. And we are going to later walk through this beautiful little city that is right on the border of Italy. But I want to give you a pro tip of how to eat on a budget. And one of the main pro tips is coming to a bakery. This is Mitron Bakery right over here. But why go to a bakery? Well, bakeries have a whole lot of different goods. So bakeries are actually a really great resource for eating on a budget here in France. Now, with consideration, we are talking about a budget in France. So this meal may be an entire feast in some countries, of course. So you gotta take the location into consideration. The south of France can be fairly expensive, especially when dining out. So there's a beautiful restaurant right in front of me called Little. But the thing is, with this restaurant, the pasta is already about 19 euro. 19 euro, which is an immense amount for pasta, especially compared to Italy, where you can get a pasta dish for 7 euro to about 12 euro. So prices here are already more expensive, even more expensive than Paris, because Paris you can actually get more budget restaurants and budget brasseries and bistros. So when you go to a bakery, usually of course you have the same setup. Let me post a photo of the bakery right over here. You have your usual setup right over here. So you got your breads, you got your pastries off to the side. I didn't take in the photo, but there's a series of sandwiches. Sometimes they have salads and cookies and other things like that. But what you gotta look out for is either in the front, above on the wall, or right by the sandwiches. It always says formule. So formule is basically a menu where you can grab a few things for a much lesser price. It's a combo meal. Thing is, in the US, usually combos really only maybe subtract $1. The formule is actually kind of subtract a few dollars, which is a really good deal. So I could have bought this ciabatta sandwich just half eaten because I had to wait. Someone was sitting right in front of me. It would have been awkward to do a live video with someone right there. I got myself a ciabatta with beautiful mozzarella cheese, tomato, and basil and pesto. Ooh. Let me show you. So right here, beautiful mozzarella cheese, huge tomatoes, very good tomatoes, some basil, and some amazing pesto as well on a very soft, almost has a little bit of oil ciabatta bread. Really well done ciabatta bread. This would cost on its own a little bit more than 6 euro, 6.50, 6.60 euro. But the formula comes with also a pastry and a boisson. In this case, hot boissons, which are hot drinks. In this case, coffee. And in this case, this is a bit more rare. Actually had good coffee, actual espresso machine. So sometimes they come with an extra drink, a cold drink and a hot drink. Sometimes they come with a little pastry. Sometimes they come with a cookie. Sometimes they come with a bigger pastry. It's all different. Sometimes it's a sandwich, it's a salad. There's a bunch of different formulas that you can get. This place only had 2. But if I would have got this alone, I think it would have been about 3 euro. And this one probably would have been about, this is a Cafe Americano, about 2 euro. So it would have been more expensive already. So this cost a total of 9 euro. 9 euro for all of this. And this is just water. All of this. That is an amazing deal, especially considering we're in the south of France. Now, lemon is very famous here in Menton, or Menton. There's a huge lemon festival every single year. One of the reasons Menton is no longer part of Monaco, it used to be part of Monaco, is because of the lemons. the Principality of Monaco was taxing lemons, and they decided to split off a few hundred years ago. So let me try the pastry, and that's my biggest pro tip. Come to the bakeries for good food. Some bakeries actually have chicken sandwiches, and the chicken is really good. It's gonna be cold. It's very rare they're gonna have hot sandwiches, but if you want something hot, the bakeries also tend to have quiches. And quiches, you can order them warmed up. So that is a good pro tip for hot sandwich. I already ate half of this, but let's do a taste test here live. Wow. Doing the US and euros in parity, which means they're about the same. So 9 euros is about $9. I'm not sure in Canadian. I think the Canadian is worth less than the dollar right now. I think, I'm not entirely sure, but you can assume maybe about 10 Canadian. Huge bread. It has this gigantic bread. Half of this was already filled me to the brim. This is something you would share with someone. Usually the sandwiches don't come this big in bakeries, so this is quite an exception to have something that big. But sometimes you end up getting the ones served in the baguette, like a smaller baguette, and they're about this big. So they're filling. This one's super filling. Huge, 2 huge slabs of mozzarella cheese, 2 huge tomatoes, but the bread is huge. It's gigantic bread, almost too much bread. But that's okay. You don't need to eat all the bread. Take a bite of the tomato and the mozzarella here at the end. Wow. Great mozzarella. That's the great thing about bakeries here. So, at first, when I came here to Paris, I came to Paris back in 2019 to do videos. And I got really frustrated because I couldn't find casual food. And I came during August, so a lot of restaurants also were closed. So I felt like I had to spend so much money on eating out because I felt like the only option I had was a restaurant sitting down. And that's a bit tedious because I'm a person who's working, so I don't want to sit down for like 3 hours for a meal. And I did not go to the bakeries, only for a croissant and maybe for a baguette and maybe for a quiche in the mornings. But I always had the assumption in 2019, my entire life, that sandwiches at bakeries tend to be rather terrible, rather boring, rather kind of processed. That's the case in the US. Not all the time. Some major cities have great bakeries. Some areas like Maine have great bakeries as well. But in general, when you go to a bakery in the US, the sandwiches tend to be pretty poor in quality. And sometimes they only use the freshest bread. Sometimes they use not so good cheese. They might be good at baking, but they kind of suck at the cheese selection. They are not choosing good hams. They're choosing big processed hams from big companies. So I never really liked sandwiches at bakeries. So that's why in 2019 I did not eat almost at any bakery until the very end of the trip, when I decided, I said, F it, I'm gonna have this chicken sandwich from this bakery that already makes good quiches. And I was blown away. It was a chicken sandwich with mayonnaise, some fresh veg with lettuce and tomatoes. I think it had a little bit of onion on the baguette. And the baguette was fresh, but I was stunned that the chicken was great and the lettuce and tomatoes were great. They actually have flavor, especially the tomatoes had flavor compared to an American tomato, which usually doesn't. So I wish I knew that tip beforehand, those 2 weeks in beautiful Paris back in 2019. This is not the only way to get budget food. So you can go super budget. So there's ways to even go very less in price. You have to maybe go to a supermarket and assemble your own sandwich. But aside from that, you can also go to trattorias. And I don't have any oh, actually I have an example right here. Here is a trattoria. They don't call it one, but it basically is a traiteur. So traiteur is like a caterer, and they're way more frequent than in the U.S. In the U.S. they're much more rare. It's a place like this. They don't call it traiteur necessarily, but it's basically a traiteur. Or right here, right next to it, there's a traiteur. These places sell pre-made meals. Pre-made meals. Now, also coming from the US, I thought that was basically going to be like a frozen TV dinner. I thought, ooh, I'm not gonna eat a pre-made meal. Oh no. And worst of all, they either microwave it or put it into like an oven. A, we're in a different culture. But B, the pre-made meals at certain traiteurs, not all of them, but certain traiteurs are amazing. Like, they're done really well. In Nice, I tried one from a Lebanese traiteur called Riviera Leban, which means the Lebanese provisioner. Oh my god, really great food. So traiteurs are like caterers. Check them out here in France overall for a budget meal. Thing is, some traiteurs have seats, and you can actually ask them to heat it up. They might not have seats, but you can still ask them to heat it up, the food, and you can just take it to go and sit at a bench or a park, or if you're in the Cote here at the beachside. So I hope you enjoyed this explanation. Feel free to ask me anything about food in France. Happy to answer it. I hope that was a good pro tip for all of you. Let's try the tart, the lemon tart. The coffee's already really good. This is a rarity. Nelbu says it's pronounced vetter. Vetter? That's how you pronounce it? Vetter? The coffees are coffees usually in bakeries are not that good. They have like a automatic machine, and sometimes worse, an espresso. So they're not usually that good. They're good enough if you're really on the go, if you're really on the budget. But some bakeries, this one is very rare, that has a espresso machine and really good coffee. Nobu, nice to see you here. This place is beautiful, says Gru. Ron says, let's be honest, before the stream you had breakfast in Dunkin'. No, you know, there's a McDonald's around the corner. No, I won't have that. Super budget, as Gary V would say, would be bread. Bread and tap water. As Gary said. So, excuse me, Susie. Yeah, if you want to go super budget, grab yourself some bread. Sometimes these places sell mini jams. You end up spending €3. €3 for bread, coffee, and a little bit of jam. €3. You're done. So yeah, there are ways to go super budget. Or buy for yourself a good baguette, and then go to the supermarket right in front. In this case, there is a supermarket right in front. Sometimes called Epicure. I don't know how to pronounce it. There's a market right there in front. Buy yourself the ham, buy yourself the cheese. You'll save some money as well. Do they have good croissants here? I don't know, but judging by the quality of this bread, yes, I can tell that they have a good croissant. Let's try this lemon tart. Ooh, crumbly lemon tart. Lemon's very famous in Menton. Wow. Oh, that's good. Strong lemon taste. And Nobu, anyone else who might be a French urbanist tuning in, let us know, do you have any pro tips for cheap eating? I am grateful that I have the budget, the means to eat well, but after going to places where I wasn't spending too much in terms of restaurants, like Lyon, I thought to myself, no, I can't really eat at restaurants here. It's not worth it. Lyon is the gastronomic capital of the world, one of the top food cities in the world. And I was able to eat a 3-course meal for €30. Some places may cost a little bit more with the wine, maybe €45 I spent. I think the most expensive place I went to was in the place right in the middle of town center, in the historic area. and that cost me about 60 euro. But generally I spend between 25 euro to 60 euro for eating in some of the best restaurants you'll have in your life. Some of the best food I've had in my life. So after going to Lyon and coming here and seeing that some plates are 30 euro on their own, I thought to myself, oh no, I'm not gonna even bother. They're not gonna compete with Lyon. So I'm just gonna eat here more on a budget, not too much restaurants. I only had one restaurant, 2 restaurants here so far in Cote d'Azur. Wow, great lemon tart. So let me answer questions. Ron says, do you find European food lacks spices? Spiciness? Yes, it lacks spiciness. So you're not gonna have spicy food. Maybe when it comes to French ethnic foods. So France, like the US, like Britain, has diverse cultures here. So maybe if you have some, it'll be tough. Even Moroccan food doesn't have too much spice, but maybe some South African foods, Sub-Saharan African foods might have spice. I can't tell you for sure. Thai food, you'll find spice. Yeah, Thai food, yeah, but not too much. How's the coffee? Really good, Justine, really good. Great quality coffee. Have you had anything with truffles yet? Yeah, I bought myself a truffle salt. White truffle salt. Truffle salt in America, you get some truffle taste. Sometimes it's synthetic truffle taste. It's not like real truffles. But this one, oh my God. It was this little jar. And even a snippet, even a dash, that's how you would say in terms of salt. A dash of salt has an explosion of amazing truffle taste. Tony says, have you ever tried with Mark Weens? I never met with Mark Weens. I don't think I know any food vlogger. I have not met a food vlogger yet in person. I have like a few that follow me on TikTok. We're mutuals. Devour Power follows me on TikTok and I follow him. So maybe we'll collaborate when I go back to New York City. I would love to meet Mikey Chen. I'm not sure if I would really connect with Mark Weens. But I think I would connect with Mikey Chen. Is there Italian food in France? So Susie, this is why I ordered this sandwich. I was trying to find pizza, but I thought to myself, let me go to the bakery, talk about budget food, and I found the mozzarella on ciabatta. So we're at the border town right by Italy. We're gonna walk through this neighborhood soon in about 40 minutes. So I end up getting something slightly Italian with the mozzarella. It's basically right here. I'm super full. I can't eat the rest of this. That was so good though. So DS is right. DS says most truffle oils in the US are synthetic. Yeah, unfortunately. They have real ones though, but you have to do your research. Yeah, so DS, would you recommend, because here a good truffle oil, white truffle oil, not black, white truffle oil, costs only about 20 euro for a bottle this big. So this area used to be Italy, says John. Yes, it went back and forth. But feel free to ask me anything about food. Bing Buzz does food vlogs. You met them before. Oh yes, yeah. From your travel experience, is there anything, any French food that you would like to make at home easily? Oh yeah. Yes. Oh, you want to know what the food is? I'll give you a hint. I'm not sure if people have watched my videos that closely, but I'll let people guess. I had it in Lyon, and it's a Lyonese specialty. Susie guessed a souffle. That is very close. Very close. It's basically a Lyonese souffle. Cynthia, tune in a little bit later for actual Menton. Feel free to ask me anything about food. How is your pasta carbonara you're going to make? I haven't found the ingredients yet. I gotta find one of these where I'm close to where I'm staying, one of these Italian caterers, so I can buy some pecorino cheese. Good pecorino cheese, not supermarket pecorino cheese. smoking a cigarette. It's like, you're good, you're good. That could be hazardous, yeah, it is. Especially going in reverse. So the top beef bourguignon would be good. I still don't know how to pronounce that, but Lauren, yeah, you're right. Beef bourguignon, that's more from the Paris region. That's really good. I would try to make a canal at home. It's not easy. Not easy at all, but that's probably the only thing I would try at home that's French. I personally, if I'm gonna cook at home, I personally love breakfast items, brunch items, and I love Italian food and Puerto Rican food. That's what I like making at home. And American fare, like burgers and steak with mashed potatoes. Yeah, sweet potatoes. Well, roasted sweet potatoes. I love making American food. Have you had frog legs? Snails, yes. Frog legs, no. But that's more up north of France. Not too much frog legs here. Here's more about seafood. Lots of fruits and vegetables. Excuse me, fruits and vegetables. Yeah. Have you ever brie? Yeah, I've tried brie many times here in France. Yeah, it's good. I think my favorite cheese is the soft goat cheeses. Which region in France has your favorite cuisine? I really love Lyonese cuisine. Lyon. Yeah, I think Lyon had the best cuisine. Paris is more casual, homemade food. Paris is more food that you would just eat every day. Well, Lyon in a way as well, but Paris has a bit more of a kind of a simpler quality. It's your onion soups, your duck legs. A lot of the dishes are the same in many of the brasseries. Lyon, I think, had the most interesting dishes that you won't find anywhere else. I'm fascinated with fire and food, says Susie. Oh, interesting. Well, you gotta check my video of the Belgian food that I covered. Have you done any cooking in France? Yes, DS. This has been the first place I've cooked here in where I'm staying in the Cote d'Azur. I've cooked a ravioli, which I bought pre-made, but I heated up at home with my own sauce. Breakfast, lots of breakfast. Not too much cooking aside from that. Pasta carbonara, I have not made it yet. Camilla, yes, I'm in Menton. Go to La Matrina Restaurante in La Place del Cap. Ooh, thank you so much for a recommendation. Do you find, oh yeah, I already answered that. Don't most French restaurants not have salt and pepper on the table? Yeah, most don't. Yeah, you would have to ask for that. Traiteurs are like delis? In essence, yes, basic. Delis are more complete in America. So delis combine a traiteur, sometimes a bakery, fromagerie, which is a cheese shop, and a charcuterie shop, which is you buy your cured meats. They kind of combine all those into one. Here in France, they tend to be separate. Sometimes you'll find them all combined into one, but it's much more rare. Does France have comfort food in your experience? Basically, all of Paris is, most of Parisian cuisine is comfort food, in essence. You know, that, as I mentioned, the onion soups, the beef bourguignon, those things are pretty much comfort foods. DS says, ask at your own risk. Oh, don't worry, DS, I'm harmless. Have you sampled the local beers? I have. And, you know, I love Belgian beer, but I've had two amazing beers in France. One of them is the Brasserie of Mont Blanc up in Chamonix. They have both a blonde beer and an amber beer that I featured in one of my videos of going up to the Aiguille du Midi. And wow, oh my God. It's a light beer, it's like 5%, but it's just so full with flavor and so refreshing, super refreshing. Oh, DS is talking about asking for salt and pepper. Ask at your own risk. Oh yeah, really? Really, DS? Yeah. I never tried. I haven't found myself needing salt. I found myself needing pepper once. There was a quenelle I tried in Lyon that was really good. But after a few bites of quenelle, it all starts tasting very the same. You know, almost kind of, it's like having a lot of mac and cheese. It kind of gets overwhelming after a point. So I needed some pepper. I didn't ask for it actually, but I was a bit intimidated, I gotta admit. Michelle says, which country has the best ice cream? Overall, best ice cream in my opinion is Italy with their gelato. Oh, there's a pigeon. Luckily, I don't need to eat anymore. And dodge my camera. Do you want to see the damage? I'll stick around for a few more minutes. Do you want to see the damage? It also dodged the lemon tart, which is good. Also dodged the water. But something about it doesn't, I don't think I won't want the water anymore. He was at that ledge right up there. Tony says, I hate to see. Let me know if you want to see. I could just put the camera right down. Susie says, let's see it. All right. Tony says, I must see. Avert your eyes if you don't want to see it. Right there. That's the crime scene. Right there. Oof. Oof. I mean, it dodged all the food. There might be some splatter, which I wouldn't take the risk of eating anything right now at this point. But it just landed right in the middle. My camera was here, it landed right in the middle. It's perfectly centered. It was like the center of the target. Wow. I think that was a warning shot by the pigeon. I don't think he intended to hit the target. I think he did it as saying, "Hey, dude, you gotta move from my spot." Beatrice says, "I heard that's good luck." You were nearly taken out by a car, nearly pooped on. Yeah, it's very dangerous. Live streaming in France. Katrina says, "I hate pigeons." That was a close call. Yes. Do you try focaccia Provence? No, I did not, Emery. I did not know. I tried a few provincial dishes, but not too much. Did I go to a restaurant in Provence? I think I went to one restaurant in Avignon, but it wasn't memorable. It was not. I have a lot of photos of all the foods I've eaten. Do you want me to post them? Let me know. I can post them. However, I can't really tell you what all of them are. Some people always ask me, hey, what's this dish you ate? I usually do, sometimes I don't pay attention to actually what I'm eating. I just order it. Sounds good. I order it and I eat it, and it's good. Sometimes I don't know exactly what the dish is. So let me know. I can post all those photos. But I won't be able to tell you all the dishes that I had. Especially it's already been a few months of traveling. Are you getting homesick, says Pete? No, not at the moment. I miss Ireland. So I'm feeling like, I'm not sure what you would call it, but I miss Ireland. I want to go back. Kay received her postcard from Monaco. Oh, I'm so glad. And Kay says, yes, please post the food photos. Okay. Yeah, I mentioned there are a lot of pigeons, says Sis. Oh, cool, Sis Robbie. That's interesting to know. That's good luck in Italian mythology, says. Ooh, thank you so much. Lorraine says, yes, please, post the photos. All right, I will. Kay says, and Ireland misses you. So, speaking of Ireland, what's my personal favorite ice cream? Italy has the best ice cream, in my opinion, in any country. Of course, you know where I've traveled. I haven't traveled the entire world, so I can't speak for Japan, which is also known for some ice cream. There might be some other places around the world that are known for ice cream. I can't speak for those countries, but from my experience has been Italy. But my personal favorite is that amazing ice cream from Dingle, Ireland. That they have a shop. They have two shops in Dublin. I forgot the name of the ice cream shop, but oh my, that is one of the best ice creams I've ever had in my entire life. That ice cream with the sea salt, ooh, delicious. And Kristen says, I know the feeling. Ireland is the only place I felt like home. Yes, Murphy's. Thank you so much, Lauren. Murphy's ice cream. The best ice cream I've ever had in my life is Murphy's ice cream. Panajota says with the sea salt. Yep, with Dingle sea salt. Yes, it was really good. It sounds weird, but trust me, try it out. Japan is open for solo travelers, but you still have to wear a mask. You still have to go with a group. It's annoying, Ron. When they remove all restrictions, I'll go. I just do not want to wear a mask. I'm not going to any place that requires a mask at the moment. With the sea salt, so interesting, yeah. And Justine says, we have great ice cream here in Melbourne. Yeah, I have no doubt. So Australia might be another country to try their ice creams. Definitely their coffee. That's what I do know, is definitely the coffee. Okay, everyone, I'll be back in Menton soon at 3 p.m. to show you more Menton and show you more of this beautiful city. I hope you enjoyed this pro tip broadcast. Go to the bakeries, get yourself the formulae. Sandwiches and salads are amazing at bakeries almost everywhere in France. Even the terrible bakeries have good foods, or good enough. And then I would recommend going to the Trattorias for good homemade meals. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Keep being awesome, and always keep on exploring. Have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye. Au revoir.